As a brain doctor, I'm shocked. This fruit raises stroke risk overnight. If you're over 60, imagine this. You go to bed feeling completely fine, with no warning signs at all. But the next morning, you suddenly find it hard to speak. Your steps are unsteady, or your arm and leg no longer respond the way they should. That is the terrifying moment of a stroke, happening right in your sleep, without any prior signal. What surprises many people is that the culprit isn't always cigarettes, fast food, or a sedentary lifestyle. Instead, it can come from something you've trusted your whole life: fruit. We grew up believing that fruit is nature's gift, good for the heart, the brain, and digestion. And it's true, many fruits do provide real benefits. But as we age, our bodies no longer process sugar, potassium, or acids the way they once did. The kidneys filter more slowly. The liver metabolizes medications less efficiently. Blood vessels lose flexibility, and the brain becomes more sensitive to even small changes. When you add in daily medications and nighttime dehydration, even one familiar fruit, if eaten at the wrong time or in excess, can quietly turn into a hidden danger. Today, I want to share with you a truth that's rarely spoken. Some familiar fruits, if eaten the wrong way, especially at night, can quietly raise your risk of stroke. This isn't meant to scare you, but to give you the knowledge you need to protect yourself. Because sometimes what seems good for your health can actually cause harm if we don't fully understand it. And now, let's begin with the first fruit, bananas. A fruit that seems harmless, tied to the childhood of countless generations. Bananas are soft, sweet, easy to eat, and often praised for being rich in potassium, a nutrient we've always been told is good for the heart and blood pressure. In fact, many older adults see bananas as the safest snack or the perfect addition to breakfast. But the truth is, after age 60, the body no longer processes bananas the same way it used to. When a banana becomes fully ripe, the starch inside turns into sugar, creating its sweet flavor. But at that stage, the banana's glycemic index also rises, causing blood sugar to spike quickly. For a body over 60, where the kidneys work more slowly, blood vessels lose elasticity, and the heart is more sensitive to changes in minerals, the sugar and potassium from just one banana can become a burden. This risk is even greater if you're taking blood pressure medication, heart medication, or diuretics. I once met a patient, Raymond, 66, who was very health conscious. Every morning, he added a banana to his oatmeal, took his blood pressure pills with a glass of orange juice, and believed it was a healthy routine. But one day, he suddenly collapsed in the bathroom. Tests later showed his potassium levels had spiked, his heart rhythm became unstable, and a blood clot had formed, triggering a minor stroke. What seemed like a harmless habit had quietly stolen his balance and part of his independence. What many people don't realize is that after 60, your body doesn't need that much potassium, and certainly not all at once. Just one large banana contains more than 450 milligrams of potassium, enough to put stress on your kidneys if they're no longer as strong. And if you eat a banana at night, when circulation slows and the body is more prone to dehydration, that combination can create a silent storm within your blood vessels. If bananas surprise you, grapes are even more unexpected. Small and sweet, grapes are packed with natural sugar. Just a handful, especially the seedless extra sweet varieties, so common in U.S. supermarkets, can cause blood sugar to surge in a short time. After 60, the body processes sugar less efficiently, insulin responds more slowly, and blood vessels become more fragile. Each spike in blood sugar creates tiny inflammations along the vessel walls. You don't feel it right away, but over time, it lays the groundwork for buildup and clot formation. The hidden risk grows silently until one day you may find your hands trembling, words slipping away, or even face the reality of a stroke. Jeanette,
80, a former teacher from Missouri, is a clear example. She lived a healthy life, no soda, no packaged foods, only fresh fruit. Her favorite was red grapes, often eating a large bowl every morning, sometimes even two. One day, while writing a card for her grandchild, her hands trembled, her mind went blank, and she couldn't recall familiar words. At the hospital, doctors diagnosed her with a transient ischemic attack. Tests revealed her blood sugar had been spiking unusually high, along with signs of vessel wall inflammation.
Her story is a reminder that even healthy fruits can become a double-edged sword if eaten the wrong way. For older adults, what matters is not only what you eat, but also how much and when. Grapes digest quickly, sending sugar straight into the bloodstream. If eaten on an empty stomach or late at night, they can thicken the blood and set the stage for clot formation. If you still want to enjoy grapes, keep it to a small handful and pair them with nuts or cheese to slow down sugar absorption. Absolutely avoid eating them at night. And if you have diabetes or take blood pressure medication, consult your doctor before making grapes a daily habit. The third fruit is pineapple. Sweet, fragrant, and juicy, pineapple has long been a favorite dessert for many older adults after dinner. They believe that a few slices of pineapple instead of cake will feel lighter and aid digestion. Yet after 60, this seemingly healthy fruit can carry hidden risks, especially when eaten at night. Pineapple contains bromelain, an enzyme that helps digestion by breaking down protein. However, when consumed in large amounts or combined with blood thinners, bromelain can disrupt normal blood clotting. This makes blood vessels more vulnerable, leading to clot formation or unusual bleeding. For seniors whose vessel walls are already fragile, this combination raises the risk of stroke even further. Pineapple also has a high glycemic index. Just 1 cup contains about 16 grams of natural sugar. For someone over 60 with slower insulin response, that sugar is less likely to be converted into energy and instead lingers in the bloodstream overnight. The result is added strain on the blood vessels and low-grade inflammation in the brain, both key risk factors for stroke.
Another point many overlook is pineapple's strong acidity. This fruit can easily trigger acid reflux, and in older adults, it often happens silently, without the obvious symptom of heartburn. At night, when acid reflux occurs, some of it can reach the airways, reducing oxygen supply to the brain. If this repeats over time, the brain can suffer damage, and the risk of early morning stroke rises. Clara, 77 from North Carolina, is a clear example. Believing pineapple was healthier than dessert, she made it a nightly habit to eat a few slices. But one morning, she woke up dizzy, slurring her speech, and struggling to walk. Tests revealed she had experienced a minor stroke, the result of bromelain, high blood sugar, and silent acid reflux all working together. The key message is not to cut out pineapple entirely, but to eat it the right way, during the day, after a main meal, and in moderate amounts. Older adults should absolutely avoid eating pineapple before bed and must be especially cautious if taking blood thinners. At this stage of life, your health depends on stability, not unexpected risks in the middle of the night. The next fruit is watermelon, the symbol of refreshment on hot summer days. With its sweet, juicy taste, watermelon is often enjoyed after dinner to quench thirst, and many believe it helps with hydration and heart health. Yet for those over 60, this seemingly harmless fruit can sometimes bring the opposite effect. Few people realize that watermelon has natural diuretic properties. It stimulates the body to flush out fluids more quickly, leading to frequent urination. For younger people, this isn't a big concern, but in older adults, especially those already taking diuretics for blood pressure or heart disease, the combination can push the body into excessive dehydration. When that happens, the blood becomes thicker,
moving sluggishly like syrup through narrowed, less elastic vessels. Under these conditions, even a small clot can be enough to block blood flow to the brain, raising the risk of stroke.
The main culprit is a natural compound called furanic coumarin, found in oranges, grapefruits, and some types of sour oranges. This compound affects the liver, slowing down the breakdown of medications. As a result, drugs aren't cleared normally but instead build up in the bloodstream, increasing side effects and disrupting the delicate balance in an older body. The medications most often affected include blood pressure drugs, heart medications, and cholesterol-lowering statins. Take the case of Elmer, 79, from Georgia. Every morning, he drank a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice, his sunshine in a cup, believing it was a healthy habit. But over time, he began feeling dizzy and unsteady, until one day he collapsed as he stood up from his chair. Tests revealed he had suffered a minor stroke with unusually high levels of medication in his blood. The cause wasn't that he took the wrong dose, but that the orange juice had interfered with his liver's ability to break down the drugs. The health lesson is this: citrus fruits, like oranges, don't need to be eliminated completely, but they must be consumed in moderation. Seniors should limit themselves to just a few slices, or simply add a squeeze of lemon or lime to water. Most importantly, avoid drinking orange juice at the same time as taking medication, and always consult your doctor if you want to keep this habit. In later life, sometimes even the fruit basket can determine your health and clarity of mind. The sixth fruit is the apple, long considered a symbol of health with the familiar saying, "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." Apples are often found in hospitals, in meals for older adults, or tucked into gift baskets from children and grandchildren. But for those over 60, things aren't quite that simple.
Not all apples are the same. Many popular varieties in the U.S., such as Fuji, Honeycrisp, and Gala, have been bred to be sweeter, meaning they contain higher amounts of sugar. When eaten on their own without protein or healthy fat, these apples can cause blood sugar to spike and then drop quickly. This fluctuation leaves the body fatigued, while also making the blood stickier, constricting blood vessels and fueling inflammation. Each tiny injury to the vessel walls stimulates clot formation. In older adults with arteries already narrowed and less elastic, those small clots can become serious stroke risks. Louise, 81, from Pennsylvania, is living proof. She believed that eating one large Honeycrisp every afternoon was good for her health, but over time she began experiencing blurred vision, heavy-headedness, and one day sudden slurred speech. Tests revealed she had suffered a minor stroke caused by unstable blood sugar and vessel inflammation linked to her daily habit of eating sweet apples. This doesn't mean you have to give up apples entirely. Seniors can choose tart varieties like Granny Smith, which are lower in sugar and higher in polyphenols that protect the brain. Pairing apples with cheese or almond butter slows sugar absorption and helps prevent sudden spikes. Most importantly, avoid eating sweet apples on an empty stomach or at night. At this age, your brain needs steady energy, not sudden blood sugar shocks. The seventh fruit is cherries. These small, vibrant, ruby-red gems are often seen as a superfood. They appear in health articles and are praised for fighting inflammation, easing joint pain, and even supporting heart health. Many older adults swap out sugary desserts for a bowl of cherries after dinner, believing it to be the perfect choice. But the truth is more complicated because cherries contain a natural compound that can become dangerous if you're taking certain medications. Cherries contain salicylates, a compound similar to aspirin that naturally thins the blood. For younger people, this small amount can offer anti-inflammatory benefits. But for those over 60 who are already taking blood thinners or heart medications, the combined effect can make the blood too thin. When that happens, the fragile blood vessels in the brain can easily rupture, leading to a brain hemorrhage, a type of stroke far more dangerous than a clot.
I once treated Daniel, 84, a retired railroad worker from Illinois. He had survived a mild heart attack, and his doctor prescribed a daily low-dose aspirin to prevent another. Wanting to live healthier, he swapped desserts for a bowl of cherries after dinner, thinking it was better than cake. At first, everything seemed fine, but within weeks, he began experiencing headaches, dizziness, and nausea. One morning, he woke up confused and vomiting uncontrollably. At the hospital, a CT scan revealed a brain bleed. The doctors explained that his blood had become too thin due to the combined effect of aspirin and cherries. What seemed like a healthy habit had nearly cost him his life. This story is an important reminder. Cherries are not always safe for older adults. If you're taking blood thinners or heart medications, you must be extremely cautious. A few cherries once in a while may be fine, but eating them daily, drinking cherry juice, or using concentrated forms can turn your body into a ticking time bomb. The wisest choice is to consult your doctor before making cherries a regular part of your diet. At this age, the body no longer has the margin to tolerate mistakes. Sometimes, something as small as a bowl of cherries at night can mark the line between good health and a dangerous stroke. The eighth fruit is strawberries. With their bright red color and sweet tart flavor, strawberries have long been seen as a symbol of freshness and health. You'll find them in desserts, smoothies, or at family gatherings. Yet behind their sweet appearance lie risks that seniors over 60 should be aware of. The first concern is that strawberries are on the dirty dozen list, the group of produce with the highest pesticide residues in the U.S. Even after washing, many chemicals remain and accumulate in the body. For younger people, the liver and kidneys can filter them out more effectively, but after 60, this ability declines, leaving toxins lingering longer. They can cause oxidative stress, damaging nerve cells in the small blood vessels in the brain, raising stroke risk. In addition, strawberries contain purines, which break down into uric acid. For those with a history of gout, kidney disease, or high blood pressure, elevated uric acid can trigger vessel inflammation, impair circulation, and encourage clot formation. This condition often develops silently for years before showing up as numbness, weakness, or even stroke.
Elaine, 80 from Michigan, once believed strawberries were a health gift. She ate them nearly every day, but later began experiencing dizziness, joint pain, and one morning woke with numbness in her right hand. Tests revealed she had suffered a minor stroke along with high uric acid levels and signs of prolonged oxidative stress, directly linked to her habit of eating strawberries regularly. This doesn't mean strawberries need to be eliminated entirely. Seniors should choose organic when possible, wash them thoroughly, eat them in moderation, and include a variety of other fruits for balance. If you have gout, kidney disease, or are taking medication, consult your doctor before making strawberries a daily habit. The final fruit on this list is mango. With its vibrant golden orange color, sweet fragrance, and smooth melt-in-your-mouth texture, mango has long been considered a tropical delight. Many older adults see a few slices of ripe mango or some dried mango as a perfect substitute for candy or dessert. But few realize that after 60, mango carries serious risks, especially when combined with medications for heart disease and high blood pressure. The first point of concern is its very high sugar content. Just 1 cup of ripe mango can contain more than 40 grams of natural sugar, more than a slice of cake. Younger bodies can usually handle that load, but in older adults, insulin response slows, blood vessels grow fragile, and the spike in blood sugar after eating mango can trigger inflammation inside the arteries. As inflammation occurs, tiny cracks form in the vessel walls, and the body quickly produces clots to patch them up. Those clots, in blood vessels already narrowed, can cause blockages and lead to stroke. And it doesn't stop there. Mango also contains a compound called mangiferin. It may sound harmless, but this compound can slow the liver's ability to break down medications, especially heart drugs, blood pressure medications, and cholesterol-lowering statins. When the liver processes these drugs more slowly, their levels in the blood can build up higher than necessary, increasing side effects and destabilizing circulation.
For older adults who already rely on daily medication, this buildup becomes the last drop in the bucket, pushing the body to the brink of danger. William, 83, a retired firefighter from Nevada, is a clear example. Hoping to live healthier, he swapped his afternoon cookies for a few pieces of dried mango. He was also taking medication to control his heart rhythm and blood pressure. At first, he only felt slightly dizzy in the mornings, but one day he collapsed beside his bed, half his face drooping. Doctors diagnosed a minor stroke. Tests revealed unusually high drug levels in his blood, along with sharp blood sugar fluctuations, all traced back to his daily habit of eating mango. That doesn't mean mango is completely off limits for older adults. You can still enjoy it, but limit yourself to just a few small slices. Eat it during the day, and always pair it with protein or healthy fats, such as nuts or cheese, to slow down sugar absorption. Absolutely avoid dried mango, as its concentrated sugar load is far too high, and never eat mango right before bed. Most importantly, if you're on heart or blood pressure medication, consult your doctor before making mango a regular part of your diet. At this stage of life, the body no longer has the reserve to withstand mistakes. Sometimes just a few slices of mango can be the difference between a peaceful night's sleep and a morning full of complications. Now that we've gone through 9 familiar fruits, you've probably realized an important truth. What was once considered healthy in our younger years may not always be safe after 60. As the body changes, kidneys filtering more slowly, the liver breaking down medications less efficiently, blood vessels becoming more fragile, the brain more sensitive, even a seemingly small habit can tip the balance of health. Bananas, grapes, pineapples, watermelon, oranges, apples, cherries, strawberries, and mangoes all have their benefits, but if eaten at the wrong time, in the wrong way, or alongside certain medications, they can quietly become the hidden enemies of the brain and heart. This doesn't mean you need to cut fruit out of your diet. On the contrary, there are many fruits that are safe and truly beneficial for older adults. Berries, like blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, are low in sugar but rich in antioxidants, helping protect blood vessels and memory. Granny Smith apples have lower sugar and contain compounds that support brain health. Avocados provide healthy fats that stabilize blood pressure and nourish nerve cells. Lemons and limes can add flavor without spiking blood sugar or interfering with medications. And pomegranate, when used sparingly and diluted, can supply natural antioxidants. What matters most is how you eat fruit. Aim to enjoy it in the morning or midday, when your body is active and able to burn energy more easily.
Always pair fruit with a little protein or healthy fat, like nuts, Greek yogurt, or cheese, to slow down sugar absorption. Absolutely avoid eating fruit right before bed, as nighttime is when circulation slows, dehydration is more likely, and blood vessels are most vulnerable. And if you're taking medications for heart disease, blood pressure, or diabetes, consult your doctor before making any fruit a daily habit. The final message I want to leave with you is this. Aging doesn't mean giving up the joy of eating, but it does mean eating more wisely. Fruit can still be a trusted ally for your health, as long as you choose the right kinds at the right times and with an understanding of your body's needs. Pay attention to the small signals your body sends: morning dizziness, nighttime thirst, or brief moments of blurred vision. These aren't just normal aging, they're reminders to adjust before it's too late. If you found today's information helpful, please hit the like button and share your experiences in the comments. Have you ever had issues with any of these fruits, and after hearing this, will you change your habits? Your story could inspire many others who are also seeking answers. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next videos, where you'll discover the little-known truths that can safeguard your health and preserve your independence.